and all the rest of the world, to take control of the entire region in which it is located. That Israeli war is likely to witness the expansion of the territory of Israel to that promised in the Torah, from the river of Egypt to the river Euphrates, with success in that act of defiance of the entire world, including USA, and with the predictable collapse of the US dollar and US economy. Israel would finally have graduated from dependency, first on the British and then USA. The Euro-Jewish state would finally replace USA and Britain as a military and financial superpower of the world. The predictable destruction of Masjid al-Aqsa and the reconstruction of the Jewish temple on the site would then take place. The prediction of the prophet Nathan, who declared, the Messiah would build a house for God, 1 Chronicles 17:11-15, suggests the destruction of the present masjid. All of this would appear very much to Jews as the fulfillment of prophecy pertaining to the return of the Golden Age, when Solomon sallallahu alaihi wasallam ruled the world from Jerusalem. From the perspective of this book, however, none of the above could have been accomplished without the intervention of Dajjal, the false Messiah. Therefore, all of the above constitute deception. The holy state of Israel first established by Prophet Solomon has not really been restored. Rather, an impostor Israel is in the place of the real Israel. It is clear to this writer that the cloud has now been lifted, and that the end time has arrived. That, perhaps, is the reason why the writing of this book, at this time, is possible. The Quran explains all of the above. The Quran referred to Jerusalem, time and again, as a city or town, but without naming it. This appears to have been part of the divine cloud that shrouded the subject of the role of Jerusalem in the last age. For example, the Quran referred to that occasion when the Israelite Jews worshipped a golden calf, while their prophet, Moses sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had gone up Mount Sinai in consequence of a divine summons. The Quran warned that such worship of other than Allah Most High would result in divine punishment. Those who took the golden calf for worship, and thus committed shirk, and whoever the reefter commits shirk will indeed be overwhelmed with wrath from their Lord, and with shame in this life. Thus do we recompense those who invent falsehoods against Allah. Quran, Al-Araf, 7:152-3. The Quran continued to describe the event while the Israelites were still in Sinai, and before they were allowed to enter the Holy Land, and declared, "We divided them into 12 tribes or nations. Then we directed Moses by inspiration when his thirsty people asked him for water. Strike the rock with thy staff. Out of it there gushed forth 12 springs. Each group knew its own place for water. We gave them the shade of clouds, and sent down to them manna and quails, saying, Eat of the good things we have provided for you. But they rebelled. To us they did no harm, but they harmed their own souls." Quran, Al-Araf, 7-160. It was after this that the Quran then referred to Jerusalem simply and mysteriously as a town. And remember, it was said to them, "Dwell in this town, Jerusalem, and eat therein as ye wish. But say the word of humility and enter the gate in a posture of humility." Quran, Al-Araf, 7-161. There is another more ominous and mysterious reference to Jerusalem as simply a town in the following passage of the Quran. "And there is a ban on the people of a town which we destroyed, and the inhabitants were expelled, that they, the people of the town, shall not return to reclaim the town until Gog and Magog are released, and they eventually descend from every height or spread in every direction." Quran, Al-Anbiya, 21:95-96. When then descend from every height, or spread out in every direction, they, in effect, assume control over the world and rule the world. In the world order of Gog and Magog. In order to determine the identity of the town referred to above, we examined all the material that exists in the Quran and a hadith that pertain to Gog and Magog. We found only one town that is linked to Gog and Magog, and it is Jerusalem. See Chapter 10 of Pt. 1. Hence, we concluded that the town referred to in the above verse of the Quran is Jerusalem. And when they eventually descend from every height or spread in every direction, they take control of the world in the world order of Gog and Magog. The return of the Israelite Jews to the Holy Land confirms that Ya'juj Gog and Ma'juj Magog have already been released, have already descended from every height, or have already spread out in every direction, and therefore have already taken control of the world. The world order which today rules over the world is the world order of Gog and Magog. Indeed, it is Gog and Magog who made the return of the Jews to the Holy Land possible. It is now possible for us to anticipate the grand design through which Dajjal, the false Messiah, would continue to convince the Jews that he is delivering the return of the Golden Age. That grand design appears to have commenced when Dajjal sallied forth from Britain, see Hadith of Tamim al-Dari in Sahih Muslim, to transform European civilization into a post-Christian and essentially godless civilization, and to endow it with the power to achieve whatever goal it chose to pursue. Then the plan witnessed the creation of the Zionist movement. Zionism, in turn, established the State of Israel. The plan seems to include eventual Jewish control over the entire region in which the Holy Land is located, and that would be a step towards the world dominion. That Dajjal must deliver in order for the Jews to accept him as the true Messiah. At the very heart of the grand design for the region must be the control over wealth and over water. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has explained the link between Dajjal and Reba, and between Gog and Magog and water. The Israelite Jews have returned to the Holy Land. That return could not have been possible without modern Western civilization, in which Britain played the most conspicuous role. And hence it is also now clear that not only did Dajjal, the false Messiah, sally forth from the island of Britain, but in addition, that Gog and Magog are located within European civilization. From Jerusalem to the Holy Land. The mystery of Jerusalem in the Quran is compounded by the fact that the Holy Book sometimes refers to the city, Jerusalem, synonymously with the Holy Land, as in Surah Al-Anbiya 95-6, with the Holy Land, as in Surah Al-Anbiya 95-96, and then proceeds to refer to the Holy Land in the same mysterious way in which it referred to Jerusalem. For example, in Surah Banu Israel, the Quran declared that it was the destiny of Banu Israel that they would commit fasadi, destructive corruption, in the Holy Land al-Ard al-Muqaddasa on 2 occasions, but the Quran did not refer in the verse to the Holy Land by name. Rather, the Quran referred to it simply and enigmatically as the earth, or the land. And we gave clear warning to the children of Israel in the book that twice would they commit fasad on the land, and be elated with mighty arrogance, and twice would they be punished. Quran, Banu Israel 17-4. And then, when the Quran addressed the crucially important subject of the divine conditions for inheritance of the Holy Land, again, it referred to it simply and enigmatically as the earth, or the land, and not as the Holy Land. Before this, we wrote in the Psalms after the message the Torah given to Moses, "My servants the righteous shall inherit the land." Quran, Al-Anbiya 21-105. Finally, the Quran refers to a moment in time when Allah Most High would raise Debatal Ard, a beast of the earth or land. And when the word is fulfilled against them, Banu Israel, we shall produce from the land a beast to face them, Banu Israel. He will speak to them, for the people did not believe with assurance in our signs. Quran, Al-Naml 27-82. This beast of the earth or the land is, like Dajjal and Gog and Magog, one of the major signs of the last age. It is clear that the word land or earth, with reference to the beast, is no other than the Holy Land. And so, when Allah Most High is prepared to commence his punishment of the Jews, he raises a beast in the Holy Land. This beast is readily identifiable as no other than the modern Jewish state of Israel. Jerusalem in the Quran. By Imran N. Hossein. Part 1. Chapter 3. The beginning of the story of Jerusalem. In the Quran, Jerusalem and the prophets. But we delivered him Abraham and his nephew Lot, and directed them to the land in which we had placed blessings for all of mankind. Quran, Al-Anbiya, 21-71. Abraham alayhi al-Salam. The true Quranic story about Jerusalem and the Holy Land begins with Abraham alayhi al-Salam, the prophet of Allah, Most High. He broke up the idols in the temple of his people in your modern Iraq, but left the biggest idol standing to impress upon the idolatrous people. The falsehood of the worship of idols. Quran, Al-Anbiya, 21, 57-63. If Abraham alayhi al-Salam were to return today and repeat such an act, it would be denounced by secular governments and so-called Islamic scholars as an act of terrorism and destruction of the cultural heritage of Babylon. The UN would impose sanctions on any government that harbored him. Prophet Muhammad alayhi al-Salam would be treated no differently were he to return and repeat his destruction of the idols in the Kaaba. Ur responded with fury to the destruction of their idols and the ridicule to which idolatry was subjected. They punished Abraham alayhi al-Salam, building a fire and throwing him into it. But Allah Most High intervened and commanded the fire to be cool for him and to keep him safe from harm. Quran, Al-Anbiya, 21, 68-9. Thereupon Allah Most High declared that he delivered him and Lot alayhi al-Salam to a land in which he had placed blessings for all of mankind. That was the Holy Land. But we delivered him Abraham and his nephew Lot, and directed them to the land in which we had placed blessings for all of mankind. Quran, Al-Anbiya, 21-71. It was with this verse that the concept of a holy land, or a blessed land, was introduced in the Quran for the first time. What is its significance? Why should Allah, Most Wise, choose one land in all the earth and make of it a holy, blessed land? And why should he guide Abraham alayhi al-Salam and Lot alayhi al-Salam, his prophets and messengers, to migrate to that holy land? There can be only one answer to these questions. Of all of mankind, Allah, Most Wise, chose Abraham alayhi al-Salam as his friend, or dearly beloved. Kalal Quran, Al-Nisa, 4-125. He tested Abraham alayhi al-Salam with the greatest of tests and trials that Abraham passed. Allah Most High then appointed him as the religious head imam of all of mankind. Quran, Al-Baqarah, 2-124. It followed therefrom that there could be only one truth, and from it would emerge one religion for all of mankind, the religion of Abraham alayhi al-Salam. There is thus only one true religion, all others being false. T is the religion of the Imam of mankind, that is, the religion of Abraham alayhi al-Salam. No priest or rabbi could possibly challenge that. And yet, when we assert such, the rabbi accuses us of chauvinism. When Allah Most High chose one land and made of it a holy, blessed land, and then guided Abraham alayhi al-Salam to migrate to that land, the divine purpose or plan was that the Holy Land should function as the litmus test of truth. Only the religion of Abraham alayhi al-Salam could survive in the Holy Land. All others would be expelled. In other words, herein, truth would always visibly triumph over falsehood, and history could not end before the final triumph of truth over falsehood in that land. Piety, godliness, righteousness, and submission to Allah Most High represented the very essence of truth, and hence the religion of Abraham alayhi al-Salam. Is Christianity, Judaism, or Islam truth? Jerusalem is already answering that question. It is the destiny of Jerusalem to validate truth, and that is most certainly one of the main points being made in this book. Since Abraham alayhi al-Salam and Lot alayhi al-Salam were directed by Allah, Most Wise, to migrate to that holy land and to reside there, the implication was that unless Allah Most High were to direct them to again migrate elsewhere, they and their progeny would reside in that land. It was, therefore, their land. The question that must be posed is whether the invitation to reside in the Holy Land was unconditional. Would the invitation still be valid if their progeny were to abandon the religion of Abraham alayhi al-salam and become atheists, or were to engage in prostitution or oppression? Would it still be valid if the Jews were to establish in the Holy Land a secular state that declared that supreme authority belonged to the state rather than the God of Abraham, and that the highest law was the law of the state rather than Allah's law? Would it still be valid if that state were to declare to be halal legal, that which Allah Most High had declared to be haram prohibited? We should note that the God of Abraham alayhi al-salam prohibited the borrowing and lending of money on interest riba. The Jews changed the Torah to legalize the lending of money on interest to those who were not Jews. Not only is riba legal in the Holy Land today, but so are also many other things that were prohibited by Allah Most High. Secondly, and importantly, is the question, if Allah Most High blessed that land for all of mankind, would it not imply that any and all of mankind who faithfully follow the religion of Abraham would also have access to those blessings? Is this not a universal statement? Whence, then, comes the claim of the Jews to exclusive title to the Holy Land? As we attempt in this book to answer these important questions, it would be of great help to reflect over the following conversation between Abraham alayhi al-salam and his Lord. And remember that Abraham was tried by his Lord with certain commands, which he fulfilled. He, the Lord, said, I hereby appoint you as the Imam, religious and spiritual leader of all mankind. He, Abraham, inquired, and also from my offspring? Will they also share of this status? He answered, my covenant, or promise, will not reach I include those who commit acts of dhulm, injustice, oppression, tyranny, repression, suppression. Quran, Al-Baqarah, 2-124. Among those acts which the Quran recognizes as acts of dhulm would be driving a people out of their homes and out of the land in which they lived, and doing so for no just cause, indeed for no cause other than their belief in Allah Most High. To those against whom war is made, permission is given to fight, because they are wronged, and verily, Allah is most powerful for their said. They are those who have been expelled from their homes in defiance of right, for no cause except that they say, our Lord is Allah. Quran, Al-Hajj, 22, 39-40.